Let's keep it moving down the list as we go. And boy, oh boy, like you want to talk about some conjecture in some of these games and fighting yourself. The Detroit Lions are going to head into play the Chicago Bears, where Matt Nagy is now saying, Kyle, hey, we might start Dalton. We might start Nick Foles. We might even start Justin Fields this weekend. The one thing that you do know is he is a bad coach. But I have to say this. There's a lot of people that just like read like clippings and stuff. Everyone's so excited to see Justin Fields and what he does. Even though you take a look, Kyle, and say, week 2, he was horrendous against the Cincinnati Bengals. Not a great defense. Just about gave that game completely away, where the Bengals almost stole it at the end of the football game. So I know everybody's excited. You want to see Justin Fields. He can't play yet in the NFL. And it's not so much his fault. The same way, Kyle, look at Zach Wilson for the Jets. It's not his fault. The entire team stinks around him, particularly with the offensive line. As the maturation process of a young quarterback, what do you want to give him? A good offensive line and a great play caller to put him in spots where he can succeed. Not drop him straight back where he got sacked more than he had like completions in the game on Sunday. That is absolutely absurd. You got him buried at the 50-yard line yesterday in Cleveland. And now I look at this and I say, the Bears are 3-point favorites over the Lions? What did I miss here? Now, granted, if Nick Foles is the starter, I actually think that's a decent number because you'll get a veteran performance. But if Justin Fields starts, what about, like, Detroit isn't a great team, but Chicago with Justin Fields on offensive line are wretched.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I got to say, I was bagging on Detroit kind of hard. I know they're not winning games. This is not a good team, but they're not as bad as advertised, right? They have some fight in them. For all accounts, they should have won that game yesterday. The longest field goal in NFL history shouldn't even have happened if you use the delay a game beforehand. Detroit gave Baltimore all they can handle. Now, I don't know if maybe we're just if we need to start valuing Baltimore a little bit less, or giving Detroit some credit here. They certainly have some fight. They're a gutsy team. I'm with you. If Justin Fields is the starter, I would lean Detroit. Will I touch this game with a 10-foot pole? Hell no. Yeah. That number is sitting at 42.5, and I would probably I would definitely take the under if Fields is starting in this one. Gross game. This is the game we want to see the least of on Red Zone. Absolutely nobody wants to see anything of this game when you're watching Red Zone. But early in the week, if it's Justin, he looked like a lost puppy. I'm so glad I played Cleveland in DFS yesterday. That defense racked up the points, 9 sacks. The NFL record, for those who are wondering, is Greg McElroy was actually sacked 11 times in his rookie debut, so that's why it's not a record. But yeah, if it's going to be Justin Fields, I know that Detroit defense stinks. I know they're not as good as the Cleveland defense, but nothing inspired any confidence yesterday. Yeah. Early in the week, if it's Justin Fields, you got to lean Detroit.
It's a great game when Jared Goff is by far the best quarterback on the field, no matter who the Chicago Bears start. That is sensational stuff here. By the way, quickly, I know a couple people mentioned this in the chat box. It looks like Josh Gordon is going to go to Kansas City. He was one of the beat writer reporters talking about that. And I've done many videos over the years on Josh Gordon, and I don't understand how the NFL should be. Josh Gordon should sue the NFL for like $300 million for continually putting himself in the wrong position. Every single, you ready for the press clippings on this? Hey, we signed Josh Gordon. We're going to help him along. You know what's going to happen 3 weeks later? We wish Josh Gordon all the best because we can't help him, and we're going to discard him once again from the National Football League. Everywhere he goes, leave the man alone. Let him get his life back together. Let him spend it with his family and doing the right things every day. It's clear that he can't be in the NFL. It's a detriment to his mental health and his physical health. Leave the man alone in the NFL. And Josh Gordon to say, I'm not signing with you Chiefs until you give me $30 million guaranteed, then I will show up. Because if I mess up, I'm out again. Because I am so tired, Kyle, of 3 weeks later saying, we wish him all the best. Do you really? Why'd you cut him then?
Yeah, because he had some champagne on a plane. I mean, the standard he has been held to. And look, I get it. If you're making millions of dollars a year and you know the rules, quit breaking the damn rules. He certainly has some culpability in this. But my God. This has been a roll. I'm so over Josh Gordon. When I saw this, I'm like, wait, this isn't happening again, right? This guy's not going to try to play again. And here we go. You're right. He needs to stay away.
They all make it sound like it's a family atmosphere. Like if you were an NFL team, let's just say you're an owner, like, man, this guy is a trouble guy. I want to help him out. You sign him to a contract so he has the best health care, the best psychologist around him, and you tell Josh Gordon, Josh, I never want you to play for my football team. Here's a 5-year contract. Let's get you back on the right track so you can live a healthy, productive life. You're going to be around the guys each and every day. I don't want you to practice, lift weights, or do anything, but I will sign you because I care about you. And the NFL used you up and spit you out repeatedly. I'm going to sign you 5 years, $1 million per year, just so you can get that income. But I never want you to play football again. We're just going to get your mental health right. Why can't we do that? Wouldn't an ownership care about him as opposed to, again, in 3 weeks, we wish Josh Gordon all the best in his future endeavors?
There isn't a single NFL owner that gives a damn about any of those players. I don't care what they say, plain and simple. You know how we know that? We just talked about a game that's happening on Thursday night. Do you think these guys give a shit about any of these players? They don't. They simply don't. Would that be the right thing to do? Absolutely. Has the NFL toyed with this guy for years and years and years? Absolutely. What needs to happen is Roger Goodell needs to hire him as an assistant and a liaison for the NFL.
Yes.
And you're right, Pam, because nobody has cost another man more money than Roger Goodell to Josh Gordon. It's absolutely ridiculous.
I mean, it's not even the NFL's fault, though, but the fact you keep clearing the guy and you sign him like in week 4, and like, hey, we're signing the guy, and you know it's never going to work out because his mind is never right. Like, how many times do you have to be wrong? It's like Jones in UFC. Hey, he's going to come back. No, he's going to do, he is a troubled human being. Pay him to stay away and get the help he needs. Not say, hey, can we use an ounce of this guy's talent here? It's clear. Like Josh, he was cool 7 years ago. It was cool. Oh, look at this guy. He can really play. It's not cool anymore. It's ridiculous right now. It's almost mental abuse is what they give him. Hey, we're going to sign to give you high hopes. They get, hey, well, maybe we just, throw him to the streets here. Anyway, let's get back to football here and talk. But I saw that pop up. It's one of those subjects that's always going to come up, and the book ends the same way every single time.